This wasn't supposed to be this way. I was having trouble. So we're going to pretend that I wasn't here. We're going to go to the actual intro. That wasn't the actual intro. Everything is messed up. Happy birthday! I forgot to get my hat. I was going to get a hat. But happy birthday to MCP. Really just incredible what it has accomplished in just a year of being around. So yeah, happy birthday, MCP. Thank you to those who created it and made it what it is now. I'm really excited about what's happened in the last year and what's going to happen in the coming year. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to go through that. I have the chat up and going. Let me share my screen here. I've got look at all these celebrations. I'd love to see that. Yeah, so I want y'all to chat your hearts out in here. And we're going to talk about things that have happened in the last year, what we expect to happen in the coming year. And I have I wouldn't call it a presentation, but I do have like some links that I want to go through to talk about the history of MCP and what's going on. Here we go. We got our first chat. Hello. So before we get into that, I want to mention that I have a new workshop series coming out, launching December 5th, all about MCP. I actually ran this as a cohort earlier, like 2 months ago, and it went great. Decided for various reasons that I'm going to make it a self-paced thing. It will probably not be called Mastering MCP. We're actually workshopping that name right now as of this morning. Yeah, if you want to sign up to be notified of that, epicai.pro/newsletter is going to help you or make sure you're aware of when that becomes available. And I will also mention it is Black Friday week. And so 50% off of everything that I sell. You can find that at epicweb.dev/2025-50. And in fact, you know what? I will stick links to that in our chat too. So with that then out of the way, let's talk about the history of MCP. Yeah, welcome baby MCP app. Yeah, that's right. We're very excited about the MCP apps stuff. That's going to be huge, huge, huge. Okay, let's bump this up too. So the official launch a year ago today, Anthropic announces the Model Context Protocol. In here, it links to the specification SDK, which has seen a lot of changes over the time that it has existed. Wow, that's even new. I haven't noticed that. And they mentioned Goose in there. That's cool. LibreChat. Yeah, cool stuff. Really, really cool stuff. So yeah, then we've got, it supports local MCP with Cloud Desktop, open source repository of MCP servers. So this was the official, or is the official place for the MCP servers that are maintained by the team. They're mostly like reference servers. I think the source for all of those is not in here at all. But these were like, here are a couple of things that that like people might think they want to do in here, and we're going to give them some references. And so if we go in here, I think all of these, let's see if they're all, yeah, okay, this one's TypeScript. I was going to say they're all Python, but it looks like we've got a mix of Python and TypeScript in here. I think the originators of MCP were primarily Python developers, and so you'll see a lot of Python in MCP and that sort of thing. But yeah, there's a lot of TypeScript now. You know what? It just occurred to me. I'm gonna turn on my stream beats just so we get some background music going on in here. Let me know if that ends up being too loud. It should hopefully not be too loud, or it's supposed to be just subtle and in the background. Okay, whoops. So, that's interesting. Let me just check on one thing really quick, because I'm not able to control the, there we go. Okay, yeah, good. All right, and yeah, man, Claude 3.1 or 3.5 Sonnet, man, good stuff. And so yeah, that was the intro, like pretty understated, honestly. The response, the Verge posted something about this, and there was something in here that I thought was kind of interesting. Yeah, pretty much just like solving the NXM problem. Is that what it's called? I think I've got another one in here that talks about. Oh, where is it? No, I forget what it was called, but basically the integration problem of the like so many possible integrations. This integrates with all of these things, and all of these things integrate with the rest of them. This is a huge problem, and MCP came to solve it, and it does solve it in a great way. There's lots of challenges and weaknesses, of course, but I think it does a fabulous job. So yeah, then of course we got the website, we've got the org. There's an awesome list that was started last year for the different servers that have been created. A lot of servers going on here since the early days. We've got, I saw somewhere it was 16,000 servers that are publicly available, and I am sure that there are many, many, many more outside of that. So that are like internal private servers. I personally have a couple servers myself that are not publicly available that I use to optimize the stuff that I do. So yeah, so that is awesome. We've got lots of stuff going, or lots of exciting momentum already early on. Yeah, we've got all the pull request issues, releases. Yeah, we're going to skip over some of these things. The Python SDK, and I think TypeScript SDK was actually showed up at the same time along with the Python SDK. It was originally open source at the same time, but we can find out. Let's dig through history, and we're going to say plus, I don't know, how many commits there were there? There were like 20 or 1,200. If we do, each one of these pages has like 50 or something. Let's do, yeah, 340. Let's just see where that takes us. 600. Okay, hold on. Maybe this isn't working the way that I thought it was. Yeah, okay, sweet. So let's go 12. There it is. Initial import. Import from maybe a private repo or something. I don't know. I actually asked if David could join us for the live stream. He is with his family in Istanbul right now. So we are not blessed to have his presence with us. But here it is. Yeah, September 24th, a year ago yesterday, is when the initial import happened. And then if we go, let's see, let's take a look. We got Justin adding the SSE transport. We've got Yarn going on. Yeah, and then boom, installed Zod. Man, Zod became such a huge thing. And anybody who's been using MCP in the last year will know that the types that are generated from Zod are very difficult to work with. And so 2 things interesting. They just merged a pull request to upgrade to Zod 4, so that's exciting. And there's discussion happening to get rid of the types generated by Zod and actually have proper types, and then Zod just does runtime validation, which I think will be a lot better. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that is exciting. We've got the registry. This is something that started. Oh, did it start all the way in March? No way. That actually is a real surprise to me. Let's find out. Did this really start back in March? I want to find the last commit, and I forgot how many commits there were. All right, 4. Okay, 380. Here we go. Okay, this goes back April 24th, February. Whoa! So yeah, Justin was initialized this registry back on February 5th. That's interesting. Init World Basic API Server. That was back in April 22nd. So I'm not sure where I got this date, March of 25, but yeah, February 4th is when it was initially committed, but I think it was announced at MCP Dev Day, if I'm not mistaken. Which, by the way, I have this. That's my MCP Dev Day jacket. Sorry, Dev Summit. And actually, on that, I don't think I have a link to this. I'm going to go grab a couple photos from that event. It was a great event. I think, actually, Dan is going to put together a collection of photos from the different events going on. So let me see if I can find where that was. No, that is me in Greece. When was Dev Day? MCP Dev Day or Dev Summit. Let's see. That's the one in London. Do they have the website for? No, they don't have the website. Oh man, where'd it go? Well, this was at the original summit. Maybe I'm in there. Yeah, there's Angie. I was right next to Angie. I was somewhere around. Oh, there I am. That's me. Hooray! All right, sweet. There are some photos of MCP Dev Summit. Dina, she's awesome. Cloudflare. Yeah, this was a fun event in San Francisco. I decided to participate like pretty last minute and managed to get in to speak. Yeah, just awesome. I was sitting right up there in front as David talked about things. Yeah, I'm like right behind this guy's beard. Okay, sweet. So let's see what else is going on. Yeah, Microsoft made an MCP for beginners. That is like a really good sign when you start seeing you have this one organization that decides, hey, we're gonna do this thing, and then you see other organizations start taking interest. That's when a standard becomes a standard and not just some idea that somebody had. So that is exciting. Yeah, we have Microsoft Copilot Studio. And yeah, the MCP registry from, oh yeah, we got that already. Yeah, so this, back March, this is even before I got into it. Microsoft is already saying, hey, you know, this MCP thing, it's pretty cool. We're gonna put that into Copilot Studio, which I think is pretty...
Internal data and toolables got a real...
Yeah, so they're just trying to explain what it is and how it integrates into their Copilot Studio thing, which I have never used. I don't know what that thing is, but it's a good sign, and you keep on seeing these as we go over the last year. The OpenAI community now. This was a really big thing that happened. That OpenAI, as the leader, you can like they're like definitely the leaders in terms of end users, like consumers at least. 800 million users a week, active users weekly. It's pretty significant how much of a lead they have. Now, of course, you can argue about which model is better or whatever, but they definitely have the most consumer users, which I think most of us those are our users as well. I know lots of you are like building internal apps or building like for the government or something like that. And that like is still very relevant here. But anyway, my point is OpenAI, behemoth in this space. And when you're the leader, you can very easily just completely ignore everybody else. You just pretend they don't exist. That's what Apple does. They just pretend that the others don't exist, and others do this as well. OpenAI has just like surprised me a lot with how much they have just said, no, we're going to not only acknowledge their existence, but we're going to start collaborating with them. And so all the way back in March of 26, they add MCP support to their Python SDK. It's, I think, the resources endpoint or something like that. So that is exciting. Lots of really cool stuff. We get actually a pretty early post from Sam about getting MCP support. We want across our products available today SDK response plus response API coming soon. And like a lot of people question this. I think I've got another link to a Reddit post that talks a little bit more about this. Post and like, hey, where is that stuff coming soon? But like they keep on doing stuff that says, hey, this actually is a thing we're doing. My first post that includes the words or the letters MCP in that order is right here. And so I was just struggling with something. This was on March 31st. This was actually Epic Web Conf 2025. As soon as that was done, like the next day on March 26th, I went over to Ryan Florence's house and talked with him because he was sick for the conference. So I brought him the swag from the conference. He was going to speak, but so I brought him the swag and I said, hey, sorry that you missed. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. And we just got talking, and he told me about MCP. And so I went home, I looked at it, and I was like, okay, this is my next thing. Like at that point, let's see, where's the... no. Okay, so I don't have the link for this, but model context protocol specification. If we look at the versions, here we go. Yeah, actually, it was that day, the same day I was talking to Ryan, they released version 2025.03.26. So March 26th, they released this, and they've got to have like release notes or something about this. Let's see. Next. No, they don't have a blog post about this. Oh, okay, because they announced the blog after that. Oh man. Yeah, that's too bad that they don't have a blog post about this. But yeah, so the authorization was included in that version of the spec. That's the one that said here your MCP server is an OAuth server and yada yada. And then they improved that considerably later on. Yeah, in July or January, February, March, April, May, June. In June. Yeah, so in June they said, okay, your MCP server is now a resource server. It can be the authorization server, but it's actually like it only has to be the resource server, which drastically simplifies how you do authorization. Because a lot of people either have their own service that does OAuth already, or they're using a third-party service that does OAuth. Or maybe you don't have OAuth and you can spin up an OAuth server over here to handle the authorization. It makes it a lot easier than just having your MCP server have to be the OAuth server. And so from July, then things really took off. But what's as far as authorization is concerned, but the March release of authorization happened on the same day that I decided I wanted to be involved in this. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is for real. This is serious. This is going to be really, really good. So I'm playing around with it, and I actually build the Epic Stack MCP thing. Let's see if we can find that. Did I put it in here? MCP. Yeah, here it is. Epic Stack with MCP. So this is like very lightweight, very first try making all of this work. If I look for MCP in here, we've got, yeah. So I had to make my own transport because the MCP SDK still does not support like the fetch API. This is using SSE, streamable, because this was before before the streamable showed up. So using SSE, and yeah, I just noticed a chat here. Yeah, Alim, what's up? What is up? I'm gonna say yes. Basically, it was love at first sight. Yeah, so I built out this. I pretty much just handed this over to to an LLM and handed the original over to an LLM and said, hey, could you turn this into something that supports the standard fetch APIs like request response and stuff. And it did a fine job. At least it worked. Yeah, then I have, here's the resource server or resource route. So our loader for starting the connection, our action for handling follow-up post requests, and then our MCP server itself. We had a find user to search for users. I didn't do anything that required authorization at this point. It was just trying to see if it worked. And of course, what I was complaining about was that I always try to do things different from everybody else, and it leads to a lot of pain. But that is what led to this. That's what I was complaining about, was building my own transport that supported fetch. Jacob helped me a lot getting that all put together. So it wasn't just an LLM. I used Jacob to help, Jacob's reference to help me with that. So yeah, that was my first post about MCP. And then actually, I should have done my second one because it was also kind of interesting. But yeah, there we go. Then we have some audits stuff going on. Like, people are taking it seriously enough to check, hey, is this secure? And that's a good thing. It's really good. And there was a couple of pretty significant security holes or major security exploits, as they see here. Many of those things have been kind of fixed up, and many of those things have yet to really be resolved. And primarily, in the same way that the primary solution for security on the web rests for the web browser, it's going to be the same with agents. The agents have a lot of work to do to make sure that these things are secure, that tools aren't talking to tools they're not supposed to, and that sort of thing. It's a hard problem, but I'm convinced that it can be solved. And so we're seeing improvements in that vein already. Of course, there are things that you can do as an MCP server author to keep your stuff secure, and that's some of the things that I teach in the workshop series that is coming out December 5th. So make sure you're signed up to learn about that. Okay, great. So let's look at some more things that happened. So I, from like pretty early on, is this ordered? I think this is in order. I decided I wanted to start contributing. So this, I wanted to specify a format for tool names, and I eventually made an SEP when they changed the proposal format or process for getting changes, and that did eventually make it into the spec. So let's see, Felix, why is this? So I made a pull request and I can't, oh, this is in the Python SDK. I was like, what the, let's see, I put a pull linked to, yeah, here it is. So I had help with my friend Alex, who works at Goose, and he and I put together this pull request. I put another pull request together that was eventually closed in favor of this one because this is a lot lighter. But early on, I just named my tools whatever I thought made sense, and Claude Code or Claude Desktop just blew up because it didn't know, or it had a specific way to format tool names, and I wasn't following that format, but that wasn't specified. And so I said, hey, if we're going to validate the tool names, then we got to have a specification so everybody validates it the same. And so that's where that came from. So that was my first contribution to the spec. Yeah, we're trying to do lifecycle capability stuff. Completions metadata, that's probably still going to happen. Update capability, yeah, still, both of these are about the same thing. Still would like to have something like that but we won't talk about that. Fix the architecture diagram on the site, which now has been changed and it looks like really cool now. And then, yeah, that was my SEP. And then this is the enhanced completion values. That's this thing right here. We should probably, yeah, well, this is the latest implementation of that. And then trusted hint tool annotation. And that, yeah, some discussion going on in there. I think we might end up with something like this, but we'll see. So anyway, some cool things happening over there in the issues. And we've got, oh yeah, this, like I said, you keep on seeing really good things happen. You need to have all of the people who are like the big players in the space be really committed to the thing for it to actually be a standard. You can call anything a standard, but to make it be a standard, you have to have people actually care about it. It's just like if you're a leader, if you can call yourself a leader, but if nobody's following you, you're not a leader. So here we've got, yeah, just a few weeks after OpenAI said it would adopt rival standard for connecting AI models to the systems where data resides, Google is following suit. And this is after they came out with A2A, which I think is pretty interesting as well. So this is in April. Yeah, good protocol, rapidly becoming open standard. Yeah, like Anthropic got a lot of things right with MCP. So pretty exciting that Google decides, hey, we're going to invest in this. So now at this point you have OpenAI, Microsoft, and Google. I think Amazon also by this point had already done stuff as well. So that is exciting. Getting back into my contributions, I posted a couple discussions. This was my first ever contribution or discussion that I opened was about a content type for UI. Very early, even like Ryan and I were talking about this on that March 26th when I came over to his house. It was very early, we were talking about the importance of UI as part of the conversation. And in fact, to take it even further, where I first really started thinking about, and Ryan and I talked about this, was ReactConf 2024. If we're looking at Evan Bacon, his talk was just phenomenal. Where is he at? YouTube. We need his YouTube. Evan. Yes, here it is. Okay, check this out. Disclaimer. What the? Oh, huh. That's interesting. Did they not post it? Come on. They had to have posted it. I don't want to go to some other thing. Let's see if we can find the actual thing. Evan. Where are the talks? Really? Highlights. I don't want highlights. Okay. We've got to find the actual talks. Okay. Evan. Really? Videos. Videos. There it is. Okay, this is the one I was looking for. Okay, so right over here, did you see how Remix was the top sponsor? I love that. So he showed this little demo where he was like, so you ask ChatGPT to show some movies and it shows some text. You ask, this was again in like September of 24 or something like that. Then you ask Gemini and it like will show some like images and stuff, but for the most part it's just text. And he's like, look at what I built. And it's like a full-on conversation that has UI involved and everything. You can swipe between those things. He had even demos with, let's see, right here, where he said, okay, create the event. And then it actually has a calendar thing. So it's not just displaying stuff. It's also allowing you to do stuff that's all native to the platform. Really awesome demo. He had a map that was like 3D and it actually moved and stuff. He has the weather, like all of this stuff. It looks amazing. You can message people. it's all integrated in a beautiful experience. And he's like, this is the way that things should be. And what he was doing was just demonstrating what is possible with React Server Components and React Native. But what I saw was the future of user interaction. And that was a really pivotal thing for me. So actually, Ryan Florence gave me a ride down to this conference, to React Conf, and we rode back together and we were talking about this a lot. And then I have Epic Web Conf. I'm still doing the Epic Web stuff. And the next day, Ryan and I talk again. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I think we should get into that. And Ryan's like, I've got this remix thing that I need to do, and he's doing awesome stuff with that. And I'm pivoting. I'm saying, okay, we're going to go over to MCP because that's what's going to enable this. And a few weeks after that, I said, okay, we need to have UI into this. And so I propose a way to do that, and then we have lots of discussion. And then, here I explain kind of what I'm looking for. And then Ido and Liad run with it, and they take it and they're like, hey, we actually have a demo. We've built something called MCP UI, and we've got this demo here that actually will show stuff in a visual manner. So here, yep, that doesn't do. There we go, boom, show me, and it like renders this thing. And that ended up being MCP UI, which is really cool and exciting, and it's now standardized into MCP apps. What? So huge. And there's a lot of discussion going on in this, but the cool thing about this is that it's not just Ido and Liad who are the MCP UI. It's Nick Cooper. I don't recognize all these names, but Nick Cooper is from OpenAI. I know Alexei is also from OpenAI. I think Jerome, he's from Anthropic. So you're getting this collaboration between these competitors that is just so beautiful, and it's so awesome. And I knew this was the way that we were going to be building for the future of user interaction right from the start. I was like, this is the way we need to have a solution for this, and they built it. And it's awesome. All right, let's see. Oh, thanks Amanda. That was fun. It's good to see ya. Yeah, happy MCP birthday. Why are you excited about MCP that makes it so special to you? Pretty much what I just showed. Like Evan Bacon's, his demo at React Conf 2024, he wasn't talking about like what I took away from it. He was just talking about React Server Components. But his demo just made me think, oh, we're there. Like, we can do this now. And then it was MCP becoming a standard, which meant that you could do this not just in like one person goes and builds an app that does all this stuff, but and they have to manage all the integrations, and so like it's going to be a hard problem like we've always had. And now we have this standard mechanism for automatic integrations that the LLM manages. That's the thing that's exciting to me, is that it's effectively a website. I build to the standard, and any browser that implements that standard supports my website. That is huge. That is special and exciting to me. Got a couple other things going on in here. Just-in-time auth flow is kind of solved by some stuff that is going to land in the spec very soon. I still need to look into that. Still want capabilities. I want progressive enhancement and stuff. We'll see if that ever happens. And just some questions about the spec. Handling sensitive information securely. Like right now, there's not a specified way to provide your credit card information or something like that. And when you're thinking about MCP servers going through proxies and gateways and stuff, you want to have a secure way for information to go from the client all the way to the server without any proxies being able to inspect that content. We have solutions for that, HTTPS and stuff. But that's as far as the way gateways work and everything right now, that's not a thing. So we need to have some sort of specification for that. And then I've got pull requests for that. That's going to happen. I still would like sampling structured output. I think that this might... I'm not sure where this ended up. In fact, tagging David, he actually asked me to tag him on stuff. On this one would be really nice. Okay. Okay, cool. So we've got the UI content type, and that has been phenomenal. Okay, we got the Go and the C#, and then here we go, AWS, Amazon Q Developer, CLI, MCP support. All right, Amazon is now interested. What a very short page. Yeah, so you see now we've got Anthropic, OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, Amazon. I don't know if Facebook has anything to do with MCP. Facebook, MCP, Olama. I don't know. I doubt it. I haven't heard anything about Facebook supporting MCP or caring about it at all. Yeah, Facebook has other things that they're working on, I guess. Okay, sweet. So yeah, GitHub Copilot, MCP integration, Windows block, securing an MCP on Windows. This was crazy. I remember when this came out and I was like, what? You're going to be able to integrate directly with the operating system using MCP? That's huge. So this was a pretty exciting development in the history of MCP. Yeah, The Verge, Microsoft Windows supports MCP. Very cool. Yeah, Gemini API, native MCP support, also very exciting. OpenAI Responses API, remote MCP server support. That was exciting as well. And we just keep on getting these little tips. Like back in March, it was not a sure thing. Like at that point, OpenAI hadn't really embraced MCP at all. And so it was not a sure thing that they were really going to do anything significant whatsoever with MCP. And honestly, if they hadn't done anything, then MCP probably would have failed because they're just such a huge mover. But because they did, then everybody else was like, oh, okay, so we can take this seriously. And now we jump into it. Of course, Microsoft jumped on it pretty early themselves, and Microsoft's like no small chicken. But yeah, it was not a sure thing. And then you just like over time, you keep on getting these little hints that, no, we're really invested in this. No, we're really. And in fact, when I went to MCP Dev Summit, I met Nick Cooper at an event at GitHub and talked with him about it. And I said, hey, I'm just like really think that MCP is a big deal. And he's like, yeah, we do too. And so I got that. And Nick Cooper, he's the chief of product, or what is that title? Director of product over ChatGPT. And so that was a really big deal for me. Like, okay, this bet that I'm making, I think that it's going to work out, and it has been really well. So AWS, MCP servers, service, and containers. So some more investment from AWS, Amazon, Reddit, some discussion on support, and ChatGPT desktop. Yeah, I would like that to happen. I think it's going to happen. Of course it's going to happen. You actually, right now MCP is behind like developer preview, and they've got like specific vendors that are allowed to be in the official registry. That will loosen over time, I fully expect. And you can actually continue a conversation that on your phone that you had that included MCP UI or the Chat GPT apps SDK conversation. In fact, let me see if I can find it. I'll just show you on my phone. Really quick. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see if I can find that. No. That. Here we go. There it is. Okay, it's loading. Okay. You won't be able to see it very well, I think, but and it doesn't render very well because I need to like make it render better. But yeah, that's like MCP. This is running from MCP UI in the ChatGPT app. It actually like works, and that sends. Let's see, does it actually send anything? No, right now it doesn't send anything. Yeah, it doesn't send anything between things. So like it still needs to be worked on. But like they've obviously thought about this, and they're making it render. So anyway, it's going to happen, and it's very exciting. Okay, cool. Making REST APIs agent ready via MCP. Yeah, this is a mistake. to at least to automate that process. I haven't actually read this paper, so maybe I shouldn't call it a mistake, but you don't automatically do that. It does not work well. For the same reason you don't automatically do that with a website. You know how you can like take a database schema and create a website out of it? And that's what like Django admin panel or whatever. I remember using Django, and they had like, you know, show me my admin dashboard for this database, basically, for this schema. And we don't just hand that over to our users, right? There's a reason. There's a reason for that. And it's the exact same reason that we don't just hand our REST endpoints over to an LLM. All right, so we've got benchmarking stuff. That's interesting. We don't have a ton of time left, so I'm gonna speed through the rest of this. And feel free to keep on jumping in with comments and stuff. I started my deep journey into AI almost 2 months ago. Looking forward to exploring MCP as well. Let's go. I've got just the thing for you. Wink. Haha. That is awesome. Good for you. Okay, we've got some more security analysis. Security is probably the biggest challenge that the MCP agents have to deal with. But I am convinced that we are going to be able to solve this problem, just like we solved lots of these security problems in the browser. Okay, Twitter posts. Let's see. OpenAI devs, MCP, OpenAI Agents SDK. You can now connect your Model Context Protocol service to agents. Also working on MCP support for the OpenAI API and ChatGPT desktop app. It's right there. Oh man, that was back in March. In March. Wow. Coming months. These people waiting. Yeah. So they are planning on it. They did at least commit to it as far as that goes. I don't know why we got September 23rd on here. I used an LLM to generate these or find these links and stuff. So that's not terribly surprising that it got some of them wrong. Data Commons MCP server. I don't know what this is, but let's see. Oh, interesting. Public data. Huh. That is interesting. Data Commons. Wow, world's public data. Which countries have the most greenhouse gas emissions? Oh, that's interesting. Wow, so you can access this through an MCP server. That's cool. Huh. Very interesting. Very cool. Okay, yeah, so Google investing heavier into it. Code mode, this was a big deal just a couple months ago. And it's huge. It is so great because this is basically demonstrating, hey, MCP has this challenge where you load up the agent with way too much context. And the more dirty context you have in the conversation, the worse the result is going to be. So finding the right context is one of the big challenges building an agent. And they said, hey, what if instead of loading it with all of the description of all the tools and everything, and also not only executing the tools, but also getting all the results and everything, and then we have to pass that to the next tool, pass that to the next, and we just bloat the context too much. What if we instead, it's really good at writing code, we just give it type definitions for the tools, and then we act as this little TypeScript SDK layer that then will call the tools. And that just improves the token usage and efficiency and speed of the whole experience a lot. And then Anthropic comes out a little bit later with this code execution idea, which is effectively the same thing. And they do call out Cloudflare publishing similar findings with their code mode thing. But the core insight is the same. LLMs are adept at writing code, and developers should take advantage of its strength to build agents that interact with MCP servers more efficiently. You may have seen another YouTube video that showed this blog post that called this, oh, this is just them admitting that MCP is trash. That is a very short-sighted view of what's going on here, and it just reveals how little you actually understand MCP. But what this is like we've entered the phase where we are making it better. We're like, okay, we've found all these weaknesses. The foundation is solid. There's nothing wrong with the foundation. We just need to optimize things. And this is agent optimization happening. You don't have to change anything about your server. It's not like you have to rewrite your server or use a different protocol or anything. Protocol is fine. It's the way that the MCP servers are being used that needs to be optimized. And stuff like this is huge for that. Very, very exciting. Like optimizations going on with this. And then this happened. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, Chat GPT Apps SDK. Let's see if we can, probably should be the top. I would expect the official announcement to be on top. Definitely would expect the official announcement to be on top. All right, fine. From Can't See Dots. I know, I linked to the official announcement. Yeah, here we go. Where did I link? I linked to it. All right, well, I made a video about it and it was awesome. I remember seeing them on stage. I was actually in a hotel at some other event. When was this? What day was this? October 6th. I think I was in Las Vegas. Yeah, I was at a ReactConf in Las Vegas when this was happening, and my friend said, "Hey, I bet Kent is super excited about the OpenAI announcement on MCP support in ChatGPT." And I'm like, "What?" I mean, by this point, they actually did have MCP support in ChatGPT, but it was really limited. And then they go off and build like the apps SDK where you can have apps that actually run. And here's Alexi giving this demo of an app running inside of the ChatGPT conversation. And I was like, oh man, I've got to make a video about this right now. And so I did right in my hotel room. But my goodness, this is so huge. This was so huge, so validating to the bets that I'd made to that point. So very, very exciting. Yeah, and here's introducing Apps SDK. I've shown this video in like 4 or 5 talks since then because it's just that massive of a shift in the user interaction. And in fact, I've given the new user interaction model talk a lot. I think the only other talk that I've given more is one about Remix. Let's see. It's in here. Yeah, here we go. Building excellent user experiences with Remix. This is the only other talk I've given more than my user interaction model. And I used to actually feel guilty about repeating talks, but I've found that most people in the audience have not heard about the talk that you're giving, so it's fine. But yeah, so like this is huge. Really, really big like validation in the protocol. So that's exciting. Deep Learning AI and OpenAI announcing support for MCP. So that is exciting. Yeah, this is working in dev mode. VS Code still investing heavily. In fact, for a long time, VS Code was the most up to spec implementation out there. It still might be it's certainly one of the most up to spec implementations. It's one of the few that actually supports sampling. Yeah, code execution. Then we've got the MCP apps announcement. So this, like, I already talked about this, but MCP UI, OpenAI Apps SDK, they come together and like, okay, let's build something more official. MCP apps extension. And we've got the SEP that we looked at earlier right here where this is being discussed and standardized more. And this is just like, look at this. This is in Claude Desktop. Claude Desktop has not done apps before. And they've got demos or at least images of this working. All of the right players, all playing the game. And it is really good for all of us. Really, really good for the future of user interaction. Yeah, this advanced tool use, this is also cool. So we're going even further on optimizing our agents. So this is kind of lower level stuff right in the model and the way that you use the model. You include a bunch of tools and then it can search through those tools before handing it over to the model. This is exactly what I said would happen. I just keep on getting these validations that what I think is going to happen is going to happen. I called it the search engine for MCP, the MCP search engine. It's all happening. It's so validating, and it's so awesome, and it just keeps on getting better. And that's the most recent thing that happened just yesterday. They posted that. So unless something has been posted today, that's really significant. We are left here. So now at some point I need to re-record this video because my hair was not looking good that day. But I invite you to come over to epicAIPro/newsletter. That's where you're going to hear about all the future of what is going on in MCP. I invite you to ask questions and everything in here. I think, Andrea, yes, we're cool. Yeah, I've got a couple minutes left to answer questions, and we can kind of speculate on the future of MCP. I think that there is still a lot to be done in the agent space on making using MCP more secure. MCP Scan is a good example of a tool that agents can use to validate that MCP tools aren't doing something fishy or shady or whatever, trying to get LLMs to do bad things. And I think that there are other things that we can do or that can be done. But my focus is 100% on the server side. I'm convinced that the big players who are building the big agents that have users, they're going to solve the client side stuff. I'm going to work on teaching you all how to build excellent servers. And in fact, let's talk about specifically what you can expect out of this. So the upcoming launch that I'm talking about on December 5th, which by the way, there's going to be a really big discount. So you want to get budgeting approval and everything for several hundreds dollars for this series. But these are the 4 workshops that will be included: the fundamentals, advanced features, authentication, and user interface, MCP UI. This is the latest of everything as of today. And of course things will change in the future and everything, but like this MCP UI, it's using the current MCP UI. As far as I'm aware, nobody supports MCP apps yet. It's still an SCP, it's not implemented yet. And MCP UI smooths over the integration with ChatGPT apps as well, so you can build something with MCP UI and it will work in ChatGPT apps, which is pretty exciting in itself. And the authentication stuff, I teach you how to make your resource server, your MCP server, resource server. So like you go from scratch all the way to production, and it is really, really great. So that's what you can expect coming up in just a couple, like a week from tomorrow, or from Friday. Yeah, week from Friday, we'll launch that, and it's going to be great. Other than that, I think we're done. Thanks everybody for joining. This was a fun time to just kind of reminisce over the last year that MCP has been around. Thank you so much, Anthropic, for creating MCP. I think that this is just, it's been a pleasure for me to get into something new, and like right in the really early days. I jumped in a couple months after it was initially announced, and it's cool. It's really cool to be a small part of that, and I'm really looking forward to the future. I think that there are still a lot of things that can be done to improve the experience for users and for developers, but those things are happening. And I want to be here to teach you how to take advantage of those things and bring your app to where your users want to be. They don't want to be in 1,000 different chat apps in a bunch of different websites. They want to be in a single chat app that talks to a bunch of different websites. And that is what MCP enables. So with that, I will say goodbye, and I hope you have a really wonderful MCP birthday. Bye, everybody.